I want to pick up where we left off in the story with Boaz. He's just had this strange ritual ceremony thing that he was given a sandal and told the elders, therefore I have married Ruth even though she's not here. And what those elders then say to him is really interesting to me, because they give him this blessing. They say, may this woman be to you like Rachel and Leah, who built up the house of Israel. And may the children she bears to you be like Perez, who Judah bore to Tamar. And that sounds like a really nice thing, unless you've read the book of Genesis, and you know that for starters, Rachel and Leah were this bitter rivalry. They were sisters. They were constantly competing for their husband's affection. They kind of made everything in that household like tense and unpleasant for a long time. And it's like, that's what you're wishing upon me? You want my marriage with her to be like that? But then there's, okay, and may the children that she has be like Perez. Okay, Tamar had a kid with Judah, but Tamar was actually Judah's daughter-in-law. First she married his oldest son, but then he died. And this is another kinsman redeemer story, that the second son came in and married her, but then he died. And the third son should have married her, but he was too young at the time. And by the time he grew up, I don't know if Judah was nervous about what's going on with this lady that my sons keep dying, or what the story was, but Tamar got tired of waiting for him, and she came up with this plan. She pretended to be a prostitute. She tricked Judah into sleeping with her to get her pregnant. And like, that's where Perez came from. That's the story of Perez, that Tamar bore to Judah, her father-in-law. And like, what are you wishing upon me with this blessing? You want my wife to be like these bitter wives and my kid to be like this jacked up story. And it, on the surface, it totally looks like this. Well, not on the surface. On the surface, it looks nice. When you look at the details, it looks like this backhanded compliment that it's like, if you're going to go ahead and marry a Moabite, which I wouldn't recommend, then get ready for some messy stuff like we've seen before. We know how messes work. Is that what's going on here? But you can look at it another way, and I choose to look at it this way, that we can kind of give them the benefit of the doubt. And I see this as like an Old Testament version of Romans 8:28, saying that God works all things together for good. Because what happens in both of those stories, that it's, yeah, God took the whole bitter rivalry between Rachel and Leah and created the 12 tribes of Israel. And God took this whole jacked up scenario with Judah and Tamar, and I don't know what was up with Judah's sons, but like, did God really want Judah to be the father with Tamar? I'm not going to try to understand that, but God took that and worked it out and made something good, because that's actually the lineage of Jesus. It's that bloodline that gets us to Jesus. And I think that what these men are saying is, Boaz, you're a good guy. Everyone can see he's an honorable man. And you're doing the right thing. Being a kinsman redeemer is a big deal. And you're stepping up and you're taking on this role. No one is ever going to forget that Ruth was a Moabite. And so it's going to be a rough road for you. But we serve a God who can take a mess and make something beautiful out of it. That's what we've seen in the family history with the patriarchs, Rachel and Leah, who built the house of Israel, and Judah and Tamar. That never should have gone that way, but God made something good out of it. And we serve a God who can redeem a situation. You're coming in as a redeemer, our God is a redeemer. And he can redeem the ugliest situation and make it good. That's the God we serve.